Hey everyone! Old School Pokemon here, back again with another Pokeflipz podcast, joined by my usual co-host, KetchumAllCollectibles Dan. And today we've got a special guest joining us. We got Reed, Legends Lugia on Instagram and eBay. How are you both doing today?
Doing very well. How are you guys?
I'm doing good. Excited for this one.
So yeah, as we always do, we will be here hanging out. I think there's probably a couple topics we can talk about, maybe some breaking news that we can cover. But we're gonna be here for approximately the next 2.5 hours. We're gonna tap out by about 4:30 p.m. Eastern. We got a couple Central Time guys with us here. But Reed, for those, some people might know you. I linked your Instagram below. Definitely go check them out over there. Go give them a follow over there. If you want to give people kind of a background, who you are, what you do, how you know these two clowns that run this this podcast here, yeah, we'll start there and then we'll go wherever the day takes us.
All right, I'll take it from here. So my name is Reed, Legends Lugia on eBay. If you've ever been buying PSA 1 cards, I am probably one of your sellers. My claim to fame was, I don't know, I got back into this 2019, right whenever Hidden Fates was in craze, and we kind of started going into like the COVID shutdown. Prior to that, I grew up in the EX era, so that's always been like my favorite series, the main kind of cards that I collect. But getting back into it, didn't really know what I was doing, kind of hopped in it on a whim. A friend of mine asked me to sell some basketball cards for him, told me I could keep half of it. I just got bored. I know sports, I just don't enjoy it. So I'm like, yeah, let me see where the Pokemon hobby's at. So just started off buying $50, $100, $200 lots, and then slowly have built in scale to get to where I am today. I mean, to start from there to where I'm at now, it's been such a fun journey, and it's opened up a lot of doors. Pack selling has introduced me to Dan and Nick. And yeah, I mean, like we talked about prior to the stream starting, I've got about a couple thousand Destined Rival packs I'm about ready to take on, and hopefully going to be shipping them off to Dan right after.
Yeah, everybody in chat, pump the brakes. Those are my packs.
We'll have a live bidding war for Destined Rivals. So.
I started the bidding pretty high. What was my hot buy list this week? I don't even remember what I'm at, but it's high.
I think you're at like 950.
Yeah, I'm at like 95% of market or something. It's right up there. So hopefully I win with that bid. We'll see. 850, 95%.
I will not be outbidding you. I can tell you that much.
Nice.
So how did the progression go from, because you're full-time Pokemon now. Yeah. So like how did that progression go for you?
So when I got back into it in 2019, I was buying collections, auctioning it off, and I've just always done it as like a little side business. Was producing a decent revenue. I mean, a couple like 40 extra grand a year that I was able to make. And then I originally, I'm from Evansville, Indiana, and then I moved up here to Chicago for a job. And just continued to keep doing that year after year, slowly growing. And now we obviously have gone through like two separate booms and have been able to scale the business to so much where the job that I was doing, just calculating it out, I was literally losing money between going to work for 8 hours, spending at least 2 hours on the road. And I'm like, all right, I have to make a decision. So put my 2 weeks in, took the risk, and have not looked back or had any regrets ever since then.
Sweet. Awesome. And when was that?
So that was February of last year. So just over a year full time with this.
Oh, Congrats on that. That's awesome.
We're booming. So how did you guys meet up recently this past weekend at like a local show, or how exactly did you guys come to find? I know we did pack deals in the past, and it sounds like you guys have too. Is that what caused this, or did you guys meet up locally for packs, or did you guys meet up at a show?
I forget how we first met. I think it was you reaching out on Instagram to sell packs, and we met up at the Jewel. And then that happened a few times, and I saw you again at Chicago Collecticon, and then this whole thing transpired because I was his initial buyer of Destined Rivals, for cheaper than what you're paying. But so we met up. When was that? Monday? Yeah, Monday. We met up Memorial Day. Had a nice little small cheval burger. Talked Pokemon for a couple hours, and I bought a bunch of Destined, Surging, and Journey packs from him. And he was talking about wanting to do a podcast, and I know we were looking frantically looking for a guest for this week. So I figured that would work out perfectly.
Slotted in perfect. Yeah, perfect timing.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys are ready, I think there's going to be a lot of questions along these lines. Is grading with PSA cooked? One thing that surprised me, and I said this years ago, so anyone that wasn't around 5 years ago, grading backlogs peaked, especially if you were using, what were they called? Graded Gem or Ludkins. If you used a middleman 5 years ago, 6 years ago, there are some people that took over 2 years to get their submissions back. I had direct submissions that took over a year, maybe towards 18 months. But yeah, 5 years ago-ish, PSA closed down all the lower service tiers. And at one point, the cheapest PSA grading was like $300 or something. I don't think we're that drastic yet. It sounds like the cheapest grading, I guess I don't even know. It sounds like the cheapest grading within a week or two is going to be like 60 a card, 75 a card maybe. They're getting rid of bulk and value. I'm actually going to open up PSA right now and see what it's going to be. But the thing that always kills me, why give people time? Like there's always the rumblings. Last night, the last few days, last weekend, people that were on the ground at shows, I heard rumblings in Discord and Instagram being posted around. So it's like the insiders are always going to know earlier, and maybe that's their argument. Oh, we want it to be more fair. We want to give everyone a chance to get that last second thing in. But in my opinion, at least, and I'm someone who is going to send out, past month, I probably sent out 1,000 cards. I'm going to probably send out another 1,000 cards. I'm going to be part of the problem. But like, why did they even give us the opportunity to do that? The second that you start getting more submissions in daily, then you're pushing out freshly graded cards daily. That's a problem. It's like going into credit card debt. You're just going to compound and compound and compound. And any day that you're taking in more than you're sending out, it's kind of the inverse with PSA than it is with like finance. But any day you're taking in more than you're sending out is a day the backlog grows, and it's a day that you got to do something. You got to do something fairly drastic. And when you they might add 2 million more cards to the backlog in the next week because they gave everyone a week. Like, what are we doing out here? Looks like value. Are they getting rid of value plus too? If regular is going to be the lowest tier, regular is currently $80 a card. And then let me actually share this just so we can walk through. I need to be better about sharing things since we have the technology. But yeah, value bulk is 25 a card. You got to do 50. That was something new. Like went to 50 from 25. Value is 33 a card. Value plus is 50 a card. Value max is 65 a card. Can someone in chat confirm? I think they're getting rid of everything value, right? So like the lowest will be regular.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
And yeah, I've said a lot. What do you guys think on what's going on right now? Is PSA grading entirely cooked? Are you going to be sending more? Where are you at with all of it?
If you want to answer first, you can.
All right. I say the secondary market is cooked. Like I said earlier, 10,000 Jungle Pikachu and Eevees incoming, rocket ship emoji, everything to the moon. But yeah, I mean, I expect a pretty significant price spike in some slabs if this is going to happen. Because I mean, if you're spending $80, add that as a premium to any graded card that you're sending in. Oh gosh, it's going to be a nightmare. But I don't know. I got a stack of slabs. I'll probably get off before. Do you know what the shutoff time is? Is it like a week or two?
June 2nd, somebody said in Discord earlier today, but I've not verified that myself.
Yeah.
I guess I'll unshare this and I'll try to find the official PSA post to share.
Yeah, you have till next week. Next week to get all your submissions out.
Okay. Well, just throw everything in card savers and penny sleeves and just send it all off.
Yep. Hope to get it back next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's the same thing. I think it's going to be the same thing, if not worse, than what happened during COVID there. Yeah, June 2nd. I think it's going to be the same, if not worse, than what happened during COVID, where PSA is going to get absolutely flooded with submissions this week and next week. I would not be surprised if there were multiple millions of cards that people just send off to PSA because they gave this advance notice. And I think it's going to be wild what happens to the graded card market with this shutdown. I think we're about to enter stage 3, 4 of this boom that we're in right now. And PSA pricing is just going to continue to take off. I think CGC is going to see a huge increase in submissions because of this as well, which I'm excited about because I absolutely love CGC. And so I think this is going to really help CGC the same way it did with when PSA shut down originally and CGC was just getting started. People started sending to CGC back then. They were just giving out 8.5s, so everyone hated them. But now that CGC kind of has their act together, they've got the new pristine labels. Their labels actually look good. They're consistent about grading. I think it's gonna be really good for CGC. So I'm more excited about that. Obviously, CGC's turnaround times are probably going to increase as well, which not as excited about that. But I think it's gonna be really good for. Not so much for PSA collectors, but for CGC collectors, I think this is going to be a really good sign.
Investors win, flippers win, and collectors get destroyed. That's kind of where we're at, I think. I'm going to make what I think is like, I think it's a freezing cold take, but I think this insane market that we're in, I think it will deem it like a hot take. But there are people that will be entering submissions this weekend. There are people that are going to submit cards that they could sell today raw for more than they will sell the PSA 10 for when they get it back in 12 months potentially. It happened last time. It happened last time they shut down. And that's an easy thing to say because like some rookie submitters are going to send 500 cards and they're going to get 6s and 7s and they're just going to get destroyed because they don't know how to pre-grade. So that's a very cold take from that perspective. But I'm going to go further. I'm going to say, like, there's going to be certain cards that people grade in bulk that they'll PSA 9 and PSA 10 that they would have been better off selling today, price-wise. Dollar for dollar, cash flow, all those considerations. Now, that said, I'm submitting this weekend. I'm probably submitting several hundred cards for bulk. And I'm probably submitting a couple hundred cards for 80, 150 a card, somewhere in that territory. It's a very fun optimizing game, trying to hit this moving target, trying to figure out what the current prices are today, what the PSA 9, PSA 10 prices will be in 3 or 4 or 6 months.
Oh, we lost him. Talk about a cliffhanger.
Where did I end off? where did I end off?
The year pricing in 6-7 months. Pricing is going to go down on the cards people are submitting.
I think like last time, there are just going to be people getting absolutely wrecked, sending things that they shouldn't be sending into this backlog. I mentioned it at the outset. I don't know if either of you graded very heavily that the first partner collections. I had auctions just end on PSA eBay, $700 for the Charmanders and the Squirtles, and $500+ for the Bulbasaur, and absolutely insane. I think some people will be cooked. Cooked is like a relative term. And in this market, getting cooked is like only making 10% or 20% on your money in 6 months later or a year later. But I think some people that sent first partner illustration cards bulk will be getting cooked. I think the way to go, especially if you know how to pre-grade, and it's crazy to say this and it doesn't feel amazing, and I hate giving PSA $100 a card to grade cards, but when I can give them 100 cards and they give me back 5 100s in return, it's like, what are we talking about? Of course I'm going to keep doing that. Of course PSA is going to have to shut down all grading below $80 a card because the market's just lost their minds on all these graded card premiums. And some of that's fueled by your Fanatics instant rips and your GameStop power packs, and some of it's fueled by that. But it's not even just that though either. It's there's just this insatiable demand currently for plastic and cardboard and plastic and all different variants.
I don't know. I think a big part of it is these mystery packs. I think that's a big portion of the mania that we're in right now. Who knows what it actually is, but yeah, I think that's a fairly large percentage of what people are like buying, submitting is just to fuel these mystery packs.
I mean, you see the same sort of issue with CGC that causes backlogs. So you have people sending in all those like 1, 2, just regular V cards, EX double rares, just causing a huge backlog. And yeah, I like the comment right there, junk slab era.
No, I refuse to admit it. It's never going to happen.
We're in the junk slab era.
He means like sub $5 cards.
We're already there.
You're buying from me on eBay Live, you're not getting sub $5 cards.
We're already in the junk slab era. People are just paying $50 for junk slabs. It's and one place, I'm sure some people will be memeing, some people will be serious when they say it, but some people think that like, hey, grading is going to cost $80 now. Every card now has a floor of $80. That's not how it works. That's never how it's worked. But people are so dumb. People are so insane in this current market that like there will be PSA 10s that people spend $80 to get that will go for $120, $150 for the first X amount of months, and then 2 years later they'll be $80 when grading's back down to 50, 40, 30, wherever. It's such a fascinating thing. It's like it's kind of the same thing all over again, but it's different in a lot of ways too. Is this the time for OSP Milky Bags? Yes, it is always the time for OSP Milky Bags. It's absolutely insane what we've got going on right now. And here's a fun thing. So in the next 4 years, it's hard to project out 10, 20 years. I mean, it's very hard to project out 4 years too, but what do you guys think is the floor? What is the lowest public offering price? Let's do it in stages. So give two numbers. What is the lowest public offered grading price that PSA will give? Bulk tier. In the next 12 months, what is the lowest PSA option will be available? And then in the next 4 years, what's the lowest option that will be available between now and like 2030? If you had to guess. And I can go first if you guys don't want to go first, but I'm thinking about it right now too.
I think so. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say they don't. They keep it shut down through the summer. They reopen in the summer. I'm gonna say at like the $40, whatever. What's like the $40, $50 tier, whatever that one is.
Like value max
down, but yeah.
whatever tier that, like the $40-$50 tier, I'll say they open that up, and that's value plus. That's what we see for the rest of this year. We don't see anything cheaper than that for the rest of this year. And then longer term, I'm gonna say they eventually reopen like the $25 tier. But that, like the bulk tier that they have now at $25, that's the lowest we're ever gonna see. We're never gonna see them drop below that again. It's the same thing that happened it's the same thing that happened in 2020.
Well, you saying never until 2030, or like never ever ever?
Never ever ever. Look at 2020. We had $10 grading in 2020. Then they went up to, it was like 15. They went up to, and then when they reopened, they opened up at 15. We never saw specials or anything like that. They're not going to lower that $25 price.
Everyone who listened to James years ago when him and I made that bet. I mean, I'm catching all the flack now. For a year ago, I bet that Destin Rivals would be available at an MSRP. So I'm catching all that flack. So I got to pawn a little off on James. James and I made that bet years ago that PSA grading he thought would go under $10 again someday. All the people out there are still waiting for James to be right and get that $9.99 bulk. I mean, they're all financially ruined. James, I mean, never punished unless you listen to me, Mr. Never Punished podcast. I mean, he's just out here ruining financial lives. I am too, saying that Destin will go under MSRP. Everyone waiting for sub MSRP Destin because of me, and everyone waiting for sub $10 grading because of James. They're all ruined.
Yeah, sub MSRP Destined offering $9.50 a pack over there. MSRP any day, baby.
I've had some people say it, like he's just telling you to wait for this so that he can buy it at $8.59 a pack. Like, don't you see what he's doing? Reed, do you have any guesses? Like, what's the lowest we'll see in the next 12 months, and then what's the lowest we'll see? I mean, Nick's going into eternity, but I asked for into 2030.
Okay. Given that current turnaround times just got pushed to 140 to 160 days, I'd say in the next 12 months, yeah, probably best bet is looking at like $50. In the next 4 years, if they can catch up and we kind of have a repeat cycle of 2020 to 2024, I mean, it's hard to think that they're going to go much below $24 because they've found that so many people are okay with paying that. So if there's a demand for it, why change anything? I would hope that maybe they can get back down to $20. That was a really, in my opinion, solid price point for a bulk tier that is going to take several months.
Mm-hmm.
If they did $25 with no upcharges, I'm fine. I will take that too. Just get rid of the upcharges entirely.
I don't think that's ever happening.
It used to.
Speaking of upcharges, have either of you watched Sports Card Collectors? He had two lawyers on talking about whether upcharges were real or not. I haven't watched it yet, but I want to watch that. But
like
yeah,
asking about if they're legal or whatever.
What?
Like asking about like the legality of them or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, you sign off on the terms and conditions. Now, to be fair, like you can write up a contract that is not enforceable, that is illegal due to the nature of, you could put crazy things in a contract, get someone to sign it, and it doesn't make it valid. But like, I would be not a lawyer, blah, 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 disclaimer. I would be shocked if they're not allowed to say like, hey, because of insurance reasons, because of whatever, like if you get a big lick, like we're taking 10% of that off your plate. Mm-hmm. I'd be shocked if that wasn't fully within their rights. But let me answer that quick before we lose that. I think we'll see like 40. I think grading prices will crash 50% in the next 12 months. They're going to be 80 in a week, and then within the next 12 months, they're going to crash down 50%. I mean, what are we calling MSRP these days on grading? Like, I've been around since 2014. I call MSRP of grading. I actually have a service with CGC, $8.50 a card. CGC Fanatics auction. I don't know PSA's internal numbers, but I bet you their cost of grading a card is about $4. All the things that I know, having decent time in the space and knowing that CGC is profitably grading for $8.50 a card, well, less than that because that's what I'm charging. But anyways, I'd be shocked if PSA is grading for any more than $4 or $5 a card. So if that's like the cost of production, wholesale is not even a thing anymore. It's being canceled. But I mean, I'm gonna call MSRP of grading a card like $14.99 maybe. We're gonna be spending several months at 5 times MSRP. We're booming. But I'm looking forward to that 50% crash to only 2.5 times MSRP, $40 sometime in the next 12 months, I think. And then between now and 2030, I think we see $25 grading again. I don't know if that makes me bullish or bearish or a little bit of both, but I think we get back there. I think they're gonna scale. What are they doing? 2 million cards a month right now, 3 million, 4 million cards a month. Like it's not rocket science. It's significantly easier to scale PSA grading than it is to scale Pokemon card manufacturing. That's mostly opinion, but I think that's mostly fact too. I think that's I think that's a pretty objective statement. Like producing and distributing Pokemon cards, going from 10 billion Pokemon cards a year to 20 billion Pokemon cards a year, I think would be logistically significantly more difficult than going from 2 million cards a month to 4 million cards a month. Maybe somebody will give me pushback on that, but I think that's pretty fair. They're putting cards in plastic. I mean, maybe the whole the whole things that are going on with oil. I mean, that's where plastic comes from, right? Maybe their costs are 10xing on the plastics, but goes from a half a penny to a nickel per slab. So yeah, I think they got some pretty hefty profit margin in there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Most definitely.
It makes
You
us
sounded
money.
so shocked when I said $25 a card. I thought you were going to come out of the gate saying they'll drop down to 15 or something.
No, I can't say forever though. Like I think we're in a period of lunacy right now. I think you could call it two booms. I think at some point, 40 years from now, when we're all on our private islands and yachts and flying around the world in our private jets, from all this lunacy, I think we're gonna look back and we're gonna say like we had all lost our collective minds. I hope I'm wrong on that. I could be wrong on that, but I think grading in particular, I think we're just in like a grading super bubble that likely will continue for several more years. But I think someday people will wake up and like, what are we even doing here? But hopefully not. Hopefully nobody wakes up and says that. Hopefully they just like, I've not even been participating in a lot of the like ascended heroes. And do you guys send frequently the latest and greatest hits from the recent sets? The amount of money that people are making just buying the high print quality in the Mega Evolution era, very high 10 rates. You buy them, by the time you get them in, the raw card's up 20%. The PSA 10 is 4 times the raw card, even though the PSA 10 rate is above 50%. It's like, holy crap, the money to be made. And that's why the turnaround time is going up, because it's just literally a money printer. PSA has a money printer that they are graciously renting us. Like, why would they not just print their own money? They're just renting us space on the printers and allowing us to print.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. Absolutely insane. The boom will never stop. Buy everything. Price doesn't matter. It will 3x soon. Don't listen to Dan's negativity.
I like it.
It's funny because like before my whole grading super bubble rant, this was not mentioned in the past minute or two. This was at the outset of the live stream, but I held on to that one for an appropriate time. Bondo turned off my long rant from last night. I was live last night, and then I'm live again tonight. I'm live tonight with Krabby's Cards, so I'm live 3 times within 24 hours because we are booming.
That is insane.
Yeah. If only we had some topics to talk about. I mean, 3 times in 24 hours, and it's dry out here for content. I don't even know what we're going to talk about. Here you go. Your employee, Nick, has a question for you.
That's a good one. Better time to start grading bulk with PSA.
I mean, for the next 5 days, you got a little bit of time to get in there. Just Don't
those
plan on
switches
having them
out.
back until the 251st birthday of the nation. We are booming. Here we go. Midi has a more serious question on the PSA shutdown. If one of you guys wants to go first, please help us understand why PSA shutting down is bullish. Yes, in theory, slabs will go up in value, but for the bread and butter grade churners, capital is tied up longer / opportunity cost increases. So if you guys just want to talk a little bit about how you engage with PSA, if and how this will change how you engage with PSA moving ahead. Because being serious about it, like having the prospect of things being tied up for a year plus, like that is a big consideration for a business cash flow wise.
Mm-hmm.
Nick, do you want to start or do you want me to?
Oh, whatever. If you want to start, you can.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take this one. I honestly, with the turnaround times increasing, the prices going up, I will probably just keep doing what I've already been doing and just sending a majority of my stuff over to CGC. Whenever I'm paying what was half the price and now it's going to be a fifth of the price to send to CGC. Plus, they have a quicker turnaround time. Whenever I think of cash flow, yeah, CGCs, I might not be making as much for a Gem Mint 10 compared to a PSA 10. Occasionally on the Pristine, I'm going to be netting a little bit more. But cash flow wise, I just think of sending to CGC because that way I get it there, I get it back quicker, and just keep churning and burning. I'm not too worried about the extra little premium that a PSA 10 is going to nab me. I think CGC is underrated. Maybe with PSA shutting the services down, people will start appreciating the slabs a little bit more now.
That's my thoughts exactly. I've almost exclusively graded through CGC for, it's been, I want to say 2 years now, since maybe 3. I want to say maybe the first year of eBay Live I was doing PSA, but since eBay Live became the bulk of my business, I've almost exclusively used CGC. They're cheaper, quicker, and I really like the Pristine 10s. So I pretty much stopped sending to PSA myself. So for me, it won't affect me in the slightest. I'll continue doing what I do. Obviously the like buying wise, the price of PSA cards will increase, so it'll be tougher to like source that type of stuff. So I do think these like mystery bag companies are going to start to panic because they all want PSA stuff. So I can definitely see the pricing on PSA graded stuff increasing. So I'll probably you'll have to pay more for that type of stuff, but yeah, where I do the bulk of my stuff through CGC, it really won't have any effect on me.
Same here. I guess we got a bunch of CGC fanboys, CGC shills in here, bag holders, whatever you want to call us. I because of my relationship with Fanatics and because of the service that I offer where I can have your cards graded with CGC for $8.50 a card, those are coming back generally 4 to 5 weeks after they're shipped. So like 4 weeks from when they're being landed at Fanatics. And sure, they got to be auctioned on Fanatics. And last night in my live stream, so someone's like, this guy's talking about CGC. Nobody wants them. The prices are like, sure, the prices are less than PSA. But when you consider the fact that with PSA, you're well, as of last week, you're paying $25 and you're waiting 6 months to a year. Now you're going to be paying $80 and waiting months, potentially waiting a year plus on your $25 cards. Like when you do the math between paying $8.50 and getting it back in a month versus paying $80 and getting it back in 4 months, 3 months, that's a big cash flow consideration. And sure, like the Gem 10 versus the Gem 10, the CGC is only a fraction, and maybe on Fanatics, like it's only but at the end of the day, it's like it's very hands off. It's very passive. I send a couple hundred cards a week, and then I get money a month later, 6 weeks later, without touching it, without thinking about it, and it makes that margin. And then you're just constantly clipping that smaller margin multiple times over. And again, like I truly believe that there's going to be some people sending out cards today that they're going to send it into this backlog. and PSA is going to horribly mismanage it as they have been. And in a year, they're going to get it back. And it's like, man, I paid $30 to grade it, insure it, and ship it. And it's like, I could have sold it for 30 raw a year ago and had the money and played with the money. But now I'm selling it for $80. It's like, was that really worth it? 30 plus 30 minus the fees. And it's like, I made an extra $5 tying up. And is it 5% of your total capital, 10% of your total capital? Like some people have 80% of their total capital tied up in things sitting at PSA. So everyone's business is different. Take all this stuff into consideration. But that said, like I'm 90+% of my stuff has been graded with CGC over the past year. That will be the case moving ahead. But like this weekend, I am going to do a couple special PSA subs. I'm gonna chuck a couple extra things their way just to get it in before they really, really get ugly. I mean, they're already pretty ugly, but I think it's going to get slightly uglier before it gets better. But yeah,
EJA brought up a good question.
What a world.
Should you wait to sell PSA cards? Like should you? Because I do think PSA is going to. I do think PSA cards are going to increase in price, especially like not the garbage cards, but like especially like good cards. I do think we're going to see an increase in price, just because of PSA being shut down. So should you wait and hold on to your PSA stuff? I would say for like actual businesses. Probably just continue to do business as normal. But for like you, EGH, where you sell stuff on the side, and you're not really like relying on sales revenue, I think I would consider it, especially on like your bigger cards. I think I would consider doing that or raising the price. I think that's something that I honestly would consider.
The biggest thing always comes down to cash flow versus time. If you are so here's a hypothetical. You have all your money tied up. Say you have $50K in inventory and you have less than $1,000 in cash. It's all in inventory. Are you going to wait 3 months for PSA prices to maybe go up 20, 30, 50%? Who knows? Who knows what they're going to go up? Are you going to wait a few months for the prices to maybe go up? Or are you going to sell today, make the known guaranteed margin that's staring you in the face, and then go out and buy, sell 3 or 4 times in that same time? Some people have significantly more capital and less time. Those people, I would say, sure, maybe give it a shot. Like you don't really have the time to transact anyways. So sit on a couple things and see if they go up, and you've got the money to keep buying deals as they come to you anyways. But for the people that have tons of time and no capital, are you going to sit on your hands and wait a few months for the prices to maybe go up? Like I would lean towards no for those people. I would say like liquidity right now is functionally infinite, and I would just churn if you have the time to do so. Because if you're sat on things that might go up and you're missing things that you can make money on, that's just a crazy situation to be in. And one thing I'm finding myself doing right now is like I'm lowering my percentages that I'm paying because I can barely keep up buying collections that are guaranteed going to clip me that 5-10% margin, just flipping them into this infinite liquidity. And it would be irresponsible to not have the cash flow to just take them and make my margin.
I think that's a good thought. Take the guaranteed profits. Don't worry about the speculative plays unless you really have the capital that you can afford to sit there and wait. But how many times could you take that, let's say $1,000, and churn it? By the time that little 20% raises, you could have churned that 2-3x.
Yep.
Oh, we're talking sleeves.
Oh no. Sleeve sellers win again. I mean, wait until PSA starts grading them. Then we're really going to be cooking. $50 a sleeve, get them graded, sell them for $150 for $1 sleeve.
There we go.
Well, I saw Nick posted some insert cards, so I mean that's not too different from sleeves.
But it's a pristine 10. I graded two. It's the Ancient Mew insert. Walrus sent those in with the Ancient Mews that we bought, and we got two pristine 10s. I actually did keep one to go along with my pristine 10 Ancient Mew. But yeah, I listed the other one the other day.
How many 8.5 insert cards did you grade? And Nick, is an 8.5 insert card a junk slab or not?
It comes out of a $200 pack.
Are they 200 now? Are they actually?
They're like 180, 190. I want to get my sealed ones listed. That is the prime example of never punished. Because we were 100% absolutely wrecked with those. And
somebody must have pre-graded all of those.
100%.
Oh, we're getting bailed out. What a world. What a world we live in. Julia says, 2 of my friends are opening an LGS next week. They're offering to consign my cards for 10%. This is an amazing deal, right? Convince me I should absolutely dump most of my cards. I'm attached. Yeah, I mean, it's a win-win. Because like it offers them the ability to make that 10% margin without tying up their cash flow, without tying up their capital, without any risk to them. One thing I would be concerned about to some extent with all the thefts and break-ins, and are they insured? Do they have enough insurance to cover your things while they're potentially there? Are they going to be putting them into the back in a safe at night every night? But other than that, like, yeah, it's a win-win. Like you make them risk-free margin and you get a high fair payout on your cards, and you set the price. And unlike an auction, you don't have to just YOLO it and it goes for what it goes for. You set the price and it either sells or it doesn't. So, but we're booming. So like 3 months from now, once this PSA $80 minimum tier kicks in and all the PSA cards 5X, like maybe you should just wait a few months and then sell them for 5X, right?
So I've got a question for you guys on this one. Because I'm thinking about doing a store later this year. And this was there's I'm gonna be looking at a few spots next week, and there's one spot that I really like, at least from like the pictures online, but it's a little bit above my budget. I think I could manage it, but it's like more than every other spot, so I'm thinking about that one still. And so I did think about, well, what about, because it's a bigger space too, what about offering like consignment cases? And I thought instead of doing a percentage on sales, would people be more inclined if I said it's $50 a month per case, or it's $100 a month per case? Or is it better to just do it's 10, 20%?
You'll be better off to do a percentage, I think.
I don't know. Will you? It really depends on like what people bring in. Because if they bring in garbage,
I would have
charging a flat fee. And then also
I would have a relatively high minimum fee, and I would do a percentage.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way that I would go. But say that it's not like a vault service too. Like don't let people bring in $500 cards that they're listing for $1,000, and then you're just going to store them forever and get nothing. It's yeah, there's pros and cons to each setup.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that percentage wise.
Okay.
Shotgun on one of the cases. I'm sending all ETB sleeves, but I want them single laid out, each sleeve penny sleeved and top loaded, card savored. Your penny sleeves and card savers, not mine. I'm just gonna send the sealed things.
Thanks.
I'm gonna send you some of my MetaZoo sleeves too. No one's doing sealed.
Oh God,
single
MetaZoo
sleeves. I mean,
also, speaking of consignments, have you guys been following the bricks and minifigs scandal that's going on?
I saw people talking about it in Discord, but something about a 200K Lego scam. You want to give us the TLDR on that?
Yeah, it was so someone had like a $200,000 Star Wars Lego collection that they consigned with this company. They had a contract signed and everything, inventory list, contract signed. The owner of the store was paying out monthly, and then the owner of that store ended up leaving. So they sold the store off to another person. And the new owner of that store and corporate, because like it's a corporate, it's a franchise. So the owner of that store and corporate now say this consignment doesn't exist. We don't have it, or the inventory is ours now. And so now it's the whole thing about them trying to get it back. It's actually really a wild situation. I've been doing like a deep dive on YouTube, watching all kinds of videos on that. Would definitely recommend watching it.
I saw some links posted in Discord earlier. I'll have to add something to my watch later and catch up on that tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah, I have to give that a check. It sounds really interesting.
It's actually really good. And there's a bunch of content around that now. But yeah, definitely recommend checking that out.
So it's still an ongoing thing. Like there's no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. Oh yeah, but Walrus had a meme here. Can we hear the numbers? Can we hear the insight into what you're thinking, what you're looking at, or is that too prying? Is that too much?
No, I've got a video going up tomorrow talking about all this. But for you Pokeflippers, we've got some exclusive.
There we go. Always come here for the early bird sneak peeks.
So I'm gonna be touring. I think we got 7 places that I'm gonna look at next week.
Wow.
They're all between, the smallest is 1,000 square feet. So most of them are between 1,000 square feet and 1,500 square feet. The rents are, the cheapest is $1,600 a month. The most expensive is $2,200 a month. This big one that I was talking about is 1,800 square feet. It's in a really, really good area. And it's $3,000 a month.
$3,000 a month, Nick. That's not even a PSA 10 Nick, come on. There's no budgets in a boom. I'm with Mega Evo Mart. What are we talking about here? 3,000. Sell a few sleeves, Nick. Come on, that'll pay the difference easy. I mean, we're booming. We are absolutely booming.
Yeah, but we're not going to be booming forever.
How long is the lease?
That I don't know either. I assume most of them want like a 3 to 5 year.
Yeah, sometimes there's 2 or 3, but I mean, the thing that I always say, it's a dangerous thing to say, but it is correct. There's a fixed known downside, and the upside is unlimited. The upside is infinite. So it's like, if you've got to sign in a 3-year lease at $3,000 a month, like that's $108,000. Added a little bit more for like, I don't know if that's triple net or if that includes or excludes whatever certain things. Like, there's gonna be more with that, but $150K is your known fixed downside, and then your upside is like millions, maybe even billions. I mean, the way that we're booming, who knows? You might have to put a B in front of it, not now.
I was going to say, locationally, if you get enough foot traffic, you could easily make that extra $1,000.
Yeah. The big one's right in Logan Square, where there's a bunch of shops and restaurants. So it is a really nice area. And there is a lot of foot traffic in that area. So we'll see. I'm gonna look at them all next week. Bought my LCS by selling sleeves.
Coming to you on Old School Pokemon's YouTube in 2030. There was another one I wanted to take on that.
What is this?
But yeah.
Oh, I told you, Walrus. You had no faith in me.
Oh, did you counter like a strong offer that Walrus wanted to accept?
No, I don't think I can share my screen, can I? I don't.
You should be able to.
But I had. Let me get it. Let me show you. Share screen. Share.
I'll just have to put it on the stage.
There we go. Share. Can you see it?
Yep.
It's a diamond and pearl non-hollow rare.
Oh my god!
I bought it at Collecticon for, I think I paid $750 for it. And I showed it to Walrus, and he said I'm absolutely insane for buying this. But I just accepted an offer for $900 on this card.
You paid $750?
Yeah. The last sale was 800 on, or an 850, 900, something like that. So I paid 80% of that.
That's a CG M10. We are booming. Oh,
and
man.
it's a non-hollow.
That's insane. That's insane. I mean, that's like a $30,000 booster box, probably, right? So it seems cheap. Let's see. So yeah, that's interesting though. I would definitely go the percentage route on consignments. Like PSA, a tried and true model. You want to eat a percentage of that total market price. I thought there was another question or two. Oh, here's the one I wanted to take. DJ wants to know, what's the motivation to open a physical store over just expanding online?
I guess for me, again, I mentioned this in my video tomorrow. Shout out to the Old School Pokemon YT Channel. You guys are gonna have no reason to watch that video. Gonna have all-time low viewership on that video.
Nick, why don't you just play it for us here? We'll just pause. We'll just mute our mics. We can watch it here.
My motivation is for one, yes, it is a good avenue to kind of get like those secondary type sales, selling like collection boxes, sealed product. That's a pain in the butt to ship. It would be nice to just be able to sell that in person. But the bigger thing for me is to have a space where people can come in and sell me stuff. I've gotten to the point now where just like how me and you met up for PAX, we meet in a Jewel parking lot. I'm at the point now where I've kind of built a clientele, if you will, of local people who are around, and I'll go to like this random grocery store 2-3 times a week to buy packs, buy singles, buy a little bit of graded stuff. So it'd be really nice to be able to have like an actual location for people to come to versus just meeting up in a random parking lot. And then also having that location, you'll get more people coming to sell stuff, hopefully. So that's my big thing is having that avenue to buy collections. Hopefully at a little bit cheaper of a pricing too. Because obviously people expect that you go into a store, the store has overhead and all this stuff, so they're not going to be paying as high as just a random dude online. And then also just to kind of clean up my apartment a little bit, to be able to have like a space to stream in the store, be able to have the inventory in the store versus everything just being in my living room. It'll be nice to get an apartment back again.
Yeah.
But those are my 3 big reasons.
Do you ever have any aspirations to do an LGS or anything like that? Or are you pretty much like running the model that you're running now into the foreseeable future?
I would say I'm pretty good running the model I'm running now. I think an LGS would be cool. I agree with Nick. It would be a great place for people to just come and bring you their collections to buy. The amount of police station meetups, random parks, Jewel parking lots, it gets to be tedious and it's time consuming because you're having to drive. I mean, we live in the Chicago area, so I say a minimum like 20-30 minute drive, and that's just one way. So that's an hour wasted round trip. I think that an LGS would be beneficial, but I love the ability and the platform that eBay has. You have so many more eyes than just whatever random person's walking in your stream. And I mean, if you have it like kind of cross-posted like Mason does with TCG Player and his shops, I think that would be really good. But right now, like, no, I'm just focused on just continuing to scale the online platform.
Yeah, I treat an LGS like I treat like a boat or a pool. Boats and pools are cool, but I don't want to own one. I want to have a friend who owns one. So like, shout out to Beerski down in New Jersey. If I've got the big bulky collection boxes, a few weeks ago, before he opened, I drove down a minivan full of stuff. All the big bulky things that I can't have PK and Ponga ship on stream, that I can't really sell anywhere else, that don't really quite make sense to break down. I just have this relationship. Going back to Julia's question, I've got like a consignment relationship. It's a win-win because Beerski doesn't have to tie up his capital, tie up his cash flow. He just gets a risk-free percentage on everything that he sells of mine through the shop. So it's a win-win. Someday one of us may scale out of where that makes sense for either of us in the future. But as of right now, like, it's definitely a win-win.
I'll add on that.
Yeah.
Nick, I can be your supplier.
There we go. There we go. I like it.
I'll consign with you at 10%.
There we go. I got my first consignment live on Pokeflipz. Should we sign the contract?
Oh yeah.
I was gonna bring this up. I mean, Nick's been your buyer until he opens up the shop, and then he's just gonna be scamming people that walk in at 50 or 60%. He's gonna get too many collection buys at 50, 60%, and he won't be buying from you anymore.
That's okay. The volume of packs I can provide him is worth it.
There we go. Exactly.
But yeah, and I said that very jokingly because like I think a lot of people underappreciate, and it's wild to me. We're booming so hard that people think like a 70, 75, 80% offer is like a scam. And there is some threshold, I think. Like at the end of the day, like if somebody's offering 50% and another consenting adult decides like, yeah, I want to sell for 50% cash, I just don't want the headache, I don't want blah blah blah, no crime is being committed, no issues really there. If they're saying like, I'm going to give you 50% because what you got is trash and no one out there is going to pay you more, like, yeah, that's lying, that's scummy. But ultimately, like 70%, you walk in, you've got $1,000 worth of stuff and you get 7 $100 bills cash put into your hand, you walk away, no risk, no headaches. They're like, I think a lot of people undervalue what exactly that is. Like people calling that a scam. And I'm saying that to 70% when I'm generally paying 80, 85%. But even 70% no risk cash in hand offer that you have the option to decline. Like if you want to find more, go find more. But it's a crazy world we live in, that this stuff is so liquid that like you're getting scammed when you get 70% netted into your hand in cash with no risk. What a world we live in.
That it is wild. And the same thing happened to me at Collecticon. I was offering 80%, and there were so many people turning 80% down because it was too low. Wild what's going on. We had one guy, he did have, it was a Moonbryon PSA, I think it was PSA 9 that he wanted 85%. We had another guy who had the sealed gray felt hat Pikachus. He wanted 90%. It's wild what people are asking nowadays. And they're asking that because people pay it. It's craziness what's going on right now.
I do find that wild.
I think it's fine and fair to want 90 or 95%, but you can't get mad if someone's not going to pay it. And then it's also wild to get mad at, like, a store doesn't have to buy your stuff. There are some shops that just won't buy back what they sell. And maybe some of them buy back the Pokemon, but they don't buy back the Lorcana. They don't buy back the whatever it may be. But it's like them offering to buy your stuff back, whether it's 60%, 70%, 80%, it's just an option. Like why get mad at an option? It's like worst case scenario, if it's 3 p.m. and you for some reason need cash by 5 p.m., you just need to get cash in the bank before you overdrive, before something happens. Having an option to just guaranteed go cash out, no risk, money in hand at 70% on a moment's notice, it's like you don't need to exercise the option, But being mad that the option exists is just wild, and trying to call it a scam. And the only exception being if someone says like nobody's ever going to pay you more and I'm paying the most and your stuff's trash, and they try to say your stuff that's worth $1,000 is only worth 800 and then buy it at 70%. Like, yes, there are situations where it could be scummy, it could be scammy, but where people try to just universally, if someone's not offering me 95% of market, they're scammers. That is just wild takes, and that's very common sentiment in this current market, and that will change someday. Right. The amount of consignment options paying out up to 95%, the amount of consignment options, I mean, some paying 96, 97%. That will not always be a thing, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
We got Spat in here offering to pay 85% for all of the near mint cards over $50. So don't get scammed by Nick. Go get 85% from Spat. PSA 9 Moonbreon included.
Ooh.
I don't like options because they force me to think. Krabby's Cards wants to know, are any of you dabbling in the Chinese exclusive sets or cards? Seems to be gaining momentum here in the States.
Krabby over there stealing my plays. I was talking with Reed about this. The one when we met up on Monday. I should have bought them earlier, but I'm gonna start picking up the the Chinese the gem sets, the singles, like the evolutions from Gem 2, the Cubone and Gengar and Meowth from Gem 3. Because yeah, the first off the cards do look really, really good. At Collecticon, Walrus was killing it selling those cards. And lately the sealed pricing, first off, the supply of sealed is dwindling down. And then the pricing is like skyrocketing. Gem 2 is up to like $90 a box, which is insanity to me. They were down to, I think I was at the lowest I was buying them at like $30 to $35 a box. But yeah, now they're skyrocketing right now, and it's getting tough to buy. At least from like the people that I buy from. Gem 1, 2, and 3 are non-existent. You can still get Gem 4 and 5, but the first 3 gems are getting tough to find. So I definitely want to start picking up some of the exclusive Chinese ones. I don't think I'll do sealed, but definitely some of the singles. Which is a big change for me because I've never been a believer in the Chinese stuff. I've always thought it goes English, Japanese, and then everything else. But I think there's an argument that can be made that Chinese is going to be the number 3 after Japanese, and it won't be like a Korean or a Thai or any of the other like trashy languages. Especially if the stuff stays exclusive.
Trashy languages.
Yeah, I'll piggyback on with Nick, and I'll attest to that sentiment. I think that I've noticed over the past couple months, like the Chinese market for those exclusive arts just slowly ticking up. Just seems to be, for some reason, if you put the word exclusive to something, everybody wants it. Mm-hmm. And just over time, it just continuously spirals up. I've been speculative on Chinese. I haven't done any of it myself, but I can say from someone who does mainly raw singles, I don't see those exclusive cards coming through in collections a lot. Maybe the smaller ones, but like the bigger ones, like the Arcanine, the Evolutions, the like $100 plus ones, I don't see them a ton coming through in the everyday collection. So I think that there is a lot lower supply than what people may think.
Me personally, we've ordered some of the gem sets for the streams. I've not set any back on the pallets. I don't have any sealed inventory. I don't have any substantial raw inventory. The Gem 2 EVs, I bought a bunch for grading. I just graded them, flipped them. But I've had it in my mind. Like, should I put a few cases of each gem set on the pallet? Should I just haven't done it yet. We're booming so hard that I forget that it exists from time to time. They don't sell crazy on my streams, but that reminds me. Maybe I'll go and I'll place an order and I'll set some back on the pallets because of this question. But also maybe not too. I don't know. Probably forget before we end the stream. But yeah, I'm not heavily engaging in it. So Eric drinks water. He said he needs this for his investing Patreon. He gave us the censored version. I'm sure most people are familiar with this. Screw, marry, kill. Amazing rares, radiance, and V-stars.
I don't like any. I like amazing rares.
Nick's killing them all.
And V-stars, though. Oh God.
So you're marrying amazing rares then?
I think I'll marry amazing rares. I'm killing radiance, and then I guess I'll screw V-stars.
Oh God. I'm gonna similarly marry amazing rares. They were too common. They were pulled too frequently. 10 years from now, in the continuation of this boom, or in the third boom from now, however you want to call it, PSA 10 amazing rares are just going to be like $1,000. So they're just seemingly out of nowhere. I'm semi-pumping my bags because I do have some slabs of them that I've gone to send them to PK or Ponga for a stream, and it's just like, no, I'm not auctioning these. And we've auctioned some, but I have a small handful set back, and then I do also have, like, so I don't even know where they are, but I probably have like a row of just raw amazing rares that I bought when they were like 50 cents to $1, 50 cents, $2 a card. I'd probably kill V-stars and screw radiance.
What? There's not a single good radiant.
There's a radiant Charizard. There's a radiant like Greninja or something. I mean,
God, you're talking up Pokemon Go radiance now. Oh God.
I got one question to add to that. Are we talking about just basic V-stars or Crown Zenith, Galarian Gallery, Gold Giratina V-star?
See, I didn't think about that. I was thinking your base trash V-stars.
Yeah, we're just talking base trash V-stars. Kill those, marry amazing rares, and then have my fun screwing around with the radiance.
We're on the same page then. But yeah, I didn't consider that for the V-stars if we're counting like Crown Zenith Golds and stuff, as you mentioned. Oh God. So the same asker here. I had a friend call me because her friend's boyfriend snap bought the 13K collector version of the pinball machine to flip on eBay. The guy knows zero about Pokemon and doesn't have an eBay. That's hilarious.
He is beyond screwed.
Yikes. Those are cheating.
Okay, good. So I stick with my answer then. Yeah, the guy who bought the pinball machine, he is beyond screwed. Yes, you can if he somehow bought it for 13,000, they're like 25,000 on eBay. So yes, in theory, you could sell it for a profit, but I honestly don't think he realizes how heavy and how big of a box that thing is. It is massive, and it weighs a ton. So he is going to have a hell of a time trying to ship that thing out.
He's going to go to USPS and try to ship it there. Oh, that's dark. Zard Lurking says, I will never understand why Dan, and with his capital and resources, doesn't hold certain cards for future speculative plays. I do from time to time. Like I mentioned, I have a stack of amazing rares somewhere. I have 100 Ancient Mews. I have 100 sealed McDonald's Pikachus. I have a bunch of the sealed the Indonesian Pikachu. Like I do have a couple 4 rows worth of stuff hiding various places. But relative to my overall capital. Oh, here we go. Got some speculative slabs there. I just do more of that in sealed. I do more of my speculative plays in sealed. I've definitely increased to some extent. I've increased recently what I'm doing in slabs and some singles, but I've always liked sealed for the vast majority of it. What would you guys say? Like if you had to break down, if you had to screw, marry, kill, sealed investing, slab investing, single investing. I am definitely marrying sealed investing. I am killing slab investing, and I am screwing single investing, because that's like I vast majority of what I do is sealed, and then significantly more sealed or singles. Like sealed promos, I guess, is kind of cheating because it's kind of sealed and it's kind of singles. But slabs, I can't say never. I have some speculative slabs that I own right now that I'm intending for them to go up in the coming months to years, and I'm just going to sell them for more, hopefully.
Yeah, I think sealed is the safest option. So I would definitely agree with you on sealed. I got into singles, like setting back singles, mainly for to eventually have like a nice backstock of singles for the eBay live streams. Before I got into streaming, I never bought singles to set back. But now that I'm doing that, hopefully in a couple years from now, I'll be able to bust out my Sword and Shield box of singles and start selling those. But yeah, that's mainly why I started doing that. And then I've never been one to set back graded cards. And I think my logic behind that is that you've already gotten the single, you've graded it, you've gotten the best possible outcome with the grade. So it's already like as far optimized as possible. So that then I always go sell it. Because they're easy to list, they're easy to sell. Whereas singles, you can still grade it. I don't know. I think it's just easier for me to set back singles than it is graded. I
would say, for me, I would say marry sealed, kind of just the safest, the one you want to settle down with. I would screw singles because cost basis wise, they're a little bit better than what you could get into it graded. Yes, as the singles go up, the graded card's going to go up. But I think that they can have bigger ebbs and flows, and you're also investing a lot more income. So at that point, I would just kill off the slabs.
Yeah, you can always grade your singles later, right? Though I say that as we're actively on the precipice of $80 floor grading for PSA for some time. But
yeah, you might not be able to grade your singles.
Honestly, those Oricorios, those were kind of one of those deals I just couldn't pass up. $85 a piece for a pristine tin, when I think PSA tins are going for like $150.
Just crazy.
Couldn't let it go.
Yeah. No, I think that was a good buy there. I can definitely see. I don't like those cards, but so many people in the streams absolutely love that card. So I can see that being a good play.
It's because it's Shinji Kanda.
It's that I don't like any of those. I don't like the Magikarp. I don't like the Giratina. I don't like this one. I hate the Darkrai.
I'm not a big fan either. They're just so cluttered. Like I can barely tell what's even happening.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. It's not my favorite, but the market seems to like it. So I took a gamble and I just rolled with it. I'm like, it's a $15 card inside a $200+ box.
Yeah.
Who's to say it's not gonna, as the box goes up, it's just gonna climb right behind it, hopefully.
No, I think you'll do well with those. I can definitely see that.
Julia is not digging the Kanda slander. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan either. This one was asked quite a while ago, but I'll take it now. We've been talking about grading a lot. Asked in a couple different ways. What do you guys think about the NBA grading? I find dumb the whole grading a graded card. When do we stop? Talk about NBA grading and predictions for the new Black Label / Black Diamond Bubble Mew. What are your guys' thoughts on?
They're gonna rebrand to RCH grading since he's the biggest shill of that in the. Oh god, I can't stand it. Every post of his is about NBA now. It's wild.
What's RCH?
Brian's Card House.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Nick and I both have a background in coins. CAC is a thing. CAC is the NBA of coins. More appropriately, NBA is the CAC of cards. But grading is consistently inconsistent. If you layer on top two consistently inconsistent things, you get some more likelihood that a card is actually deserving or a strong copy of that grade. It's all horribly silly. But we're humans. We like the exclusivity. We like the hard to achieve nature. So if you layer on the chase, people are all about it. The sky's the limit. You throw something into a black label and you put an Onyx, Platinum, Diamond certification of that black label. Like I don't even know what the best one is, but you put both those things there, like $1 million card. Let's go. 250K black label Bubble Mew was that was just the beginning.
So do you think because this new black label with a black label NBA sticker is going to sell for more than the plain old gross non-NBA Bubble Mew?
Is that actually a thing? Is there one like actively live on an auction platform?
Yeah, Ryan's eBay. Oh. It's a black label with a black label NBA. It's already up to 150,000.
Is it the third one now?
No, it's the second one.
Oh, okay. Because
he's consigning the second one.
The $230,000 one, that was like while it was Pop 2, right? So this is the other one that's had the certification put on it.
Yes, yeah. Yeah. It's still a Pop 2. This is the second one.
Realistically, people know how I feel about the graded premiums. It's all silly, it's all stupid, but like in this market, that stupid thing might go for $500,000. Hell, it might go for $1 million. Like, do I think that's sane? Do I think that's rational, logical, reasonable? No. But like, am I rooting for it to go for $1 million? Absolutely yes. I haven't submitted the BGS in quite some time. That'll be the thing that I just bought a massive binder collection. Probably no black label quality cards in there. A lot of them are cracked out PSA 9s, but it makes you think, it makes you wonder, it makes you like get allured towards I'm gonna send out 50 cards to BGS, and then a year later when you get them back, you get all 9 5s.
Exactly. No, I hate the whole NBA thing. I think it's the dumbest thing ever. And I hate yes, you have like the coin analogy, but there's so many different grades in coins. Cards you're grading on a 10-point scale. Coins you're grading on a 70-point scale.
That means you need it less. I think you need it less in coins. You need it more in cards. You need it more in cards because there's not as refined of a grading scale. So in cards, especially with PSA 10, half of all Pokemon cards are PSA 10s. Almost 50% of Pokemon cards that get graded at PSA are PSA 10s. So like half of the cards are in this bucket. You need the distinction to say that this is in like the top of the top half. Whereas with coins, you've got a 70-point scale. Do you really need to micromanage 70 points and add in I think there's like 5 tiers of sticker. Now you've got 350 grades. You need it with PSA because you've only got 10, like half grades aren't real. But yeah, I think cards, it makes more sense than coins, honestly. And coins, it's been around for decades now. It's been a thing that's taken been entrenched in the hobby. So it's not shocking at all. And I think it's dumb. Like, I'll say this first. Like, I think it's dumb as hell. It's all dumb as hell. But like, it makes more sense in cards than coins, in my opinion.
See, I think it's the complete opposite. I think because so a grader knows what a 9 looks like versus a 10 looks like. But what happens? Does a grader know what an MS66 looks like versus an MS67? I think that's where you need the second opinion. I think the difference between a 9 and a 10 is super obvious. Obviously, it's not, but it's more obvious than a 66 versus a 67.
It's all made up. It's all a joke. Being honest, I mean, but yeah, it praise Arceus and bless the hobby. I shouldn't bite that hand that feeds me.
Do you have any thoughts on this?
So I'll sell the premium that it brings. I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to pay for it. It's not something I believe in. I just need the first label, not the additional flibber flabber or whatever it is that they do with it.
Yeah.
I'm all for more subjectivity, more consistently inconsistent. I'm a gambler at heart, so I've never sent any to NBA, but if I'm ever going to like the National or going somewhere where they're on site, I should YOLO a couple cards at it and just see what happens. Alex at the ranch wants to know, are you the Grail seller?
That is correct. I am the Grail seller of the PSA 1s.
There you go. This is your guy.
Alex at the ranch is a big PSA 1 guy.
I've sold so many. It amazes me sometimes. I get that there's collectors for it. I myself, I have a PSA 1 Aquapolis Lugia I bought back in the day for like $300. They're cool. I prefer like my 9s and 10s, but if there's people out there that want them and I'm able to provide it, I'm sure Zach going to try to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is too spicy of a question, but do you manufacture your ones, or do you specialize in just buying cards that are ones and you send them for grading? Because one thing that I've found, and I've not played around in it too much, the pricing hierarchy is like PSA 10, PSA 9, and then there are many times where the liquidity and the price of a 1 beat anything from a 2 to an 8. So like there's an argument to be made for certain cards at certain times. If you have an 8 or less, you should just crinkle it up, turn it into a 1. You'll get more money quicker. Is that something that you engage in, or is that too risque of a question to even ask? Feel free to plead the fifth.
Oh no, I won't plead the fifth. A majority of the cards that I buy, like I just buy them damaged, and a majority of them are coming off of eBay. Some through TCG Player, but I get annoyed paying sales tax on there for the card. I would be lying if I said I haven't put like a crease or two in it to just kind of like guarantee it the one. Some of the cards are already just so beat up that I just send them as they are and they come back once. I've had like straight 50, 100 card submissions that are all just 1, the occasional 2. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should crack it, crease it, and send it back. But no, the premium sometimes is crazy. I've sold
Alex at the ranch
1.
says, true PSA 1 collectors can tell a real PSA 1 versus an artificially. That makes me think, going back to coins, Nick, I'm sure you know about this, but like toning in coins. There's like toning that happens to silver coins, especially over decades, over centuries, whatever. You can artificially tone a coin. I actually played around with it years ago just to just to see what the process would be, and using like hydrogen sulfide or some different gases. You can give it really cool looking toning, but the artificial toning really does stand out and look very, I mean, done the wrong way, it looks very artificial relative to like the real age toning. But interesting thought and all that. I years ago, I bought a collection that just had tons of busted Grail cards, Gold Stars, and old school EXs and first edition base cards. I graded a few dozen PSA 1s, and man, like when I was comping those, when I was listing some of those, that was back when I did more buy it nows than auctions. As I said, like I was listing some PSA 1s for higher than low list PSA 8 buy it now, and they were selling. That whole market blows my mind.
Yeah.
It's a funny dynamic too in this current environment where there's all the talk of Kurt's card care. So you've got people doing two things. If you've got a card that's between like a 5 and a 9, you've got half the people that are crumpling them up, putting it through the washing machine, doing whatever to try to make it a 1. And then you've got some people that are getting out their heat presses and their humidors and their this and that, and you've got people going in both directions. If we make a card better, then it could be considered altering. So what would we call it if we make it worse? I think it's an interesting thing. I'll let one of you guys go first. What do you like? If there's drama behind making a card better, is there or should there be drama behind making it worse? Is that not alteration? What is allowed? What is not allowed? All those things.
I can see why PSA 1 collectors don't like that because they'd rather, because like I think it was Old Card Shop. He had a good point. Like, you collect PSA 1s because you collect like the stories of the cards, and it's not just like a near mint card that someone pulled from a pack and then creased in half to get a 1. It was sitting in the kid's pocket for years. It went through the washing machine. So I guess that does make sense to me. But I'd always say damaging a card isn't as bad as making a card look better. That's what I would say.
Then you get into the whole conversation of like, okay, so I'm not allowed to maliciously crumple up a Rayquaza Gold Star to grade it as a PSA 1. Well, can I let my kids play with it for a week and then grade it? Is that more true? Like, it's Nat Turner a couple years ago in that infamous podcast called me dumb, also called me cute, but he called me dumb. Don't be dumb. The line is clear. It's obvious what's allowed and what's not allowed. It is not obvious whatsoever. They have rules that they can't enforce. This whole conversation. But I'm ranting on that for a reason, because a couple years ago I came up with the idea that, like, as long as you don't, two things, as long as you don't add something to the card that will remain there, adding a wax, adding a polish, adding ink, adding anything to the card that wasn't originally there when it was produced, I think it's all fair game. So that's where like water would be fine because it evaporates away. An IPA, something like that would be not a.
Jeez, we're in the biggest Pokemon boom ever, and Dan's over here with his dial-up internet.
I don't know why I'm freezing. I don't freeze like that normally.
Pay for better internet.
It doesn't exist. I'd have to pay $50,000 to get it to come down the road to me.
All the money you're making, that's chump change.
I'm gonna build a Pokemon warehouse instead. But what I was saying is, like, if as long as you don't add something that remains that wasn't there when it was made, and then you can't take away anything that was there when it was made. You can't trim. You can't take away anything that was supposed to be there when it was made. That's kind of the definition for what I came up with that I think is fair game. Crumpling up a card, wiping away a little, like, I think a lot of people have seen this before, but if you've got a card with like a little white dot on the edge, sometimes that's from the corner rounding machine. There's just like excess stuff that you can just wipe away. Technically, is that altering a card from the way in which you pulled it from the pack? I guess yes, but it wasn't meant to remain there anyways. So I think it's very hard to define what's fair game and what's not. But in my opinion, like, every card can ultimately become a PSA 1. That's why it's so silly to value that and provide a premium to it. But I think it's fair game to crumple up a card and then grade it, because it's your property. You can do whatever the hell you want with it. But should you have to disclose that this is a true blue PSA 1 that I bought on eBay from a collection and then I graded it as a 1, or this is actually a self-mutilated PSA 1? Like, should you have to make that distinction? Then there would just be people on eBay doing the mutilating and keeping one step removed from the actual grading process. Like, it's all so silly to get into the nitty-gritty. And the more you think about it, the more you realize all this stuff is kind of a big joke, to be honest. That's my take on it, at least. Very, very much throwing the baby and the bathwater out at the same time.
I like to call it advanced aging. Just age the card a little bit with like one little, just playing around with it.
And it's interesting because, like, for the same reasons, altering is bad, because like you're doing it for financial gain. So like, if you're not allowed to alter up, why would you be allowed to alter down? It's a very reasonable argument, and I think it's a tough question to answer to and be logically consistent between like. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that would kind of hypocritically allow you to alter down. They would consider that fine, but then they would say altering up is like, oh no, that's a no now. Well, Nat says water is fine. Is water in a heat press fine? Well, you can't use a heat press, but can you put it in your bathroom in all that humidity for a week and then put it right next to your furnace outlet where it's going to be nice and really dry and warm? And it's like what's allowed, what's not allowed. It's actually all quite difficult to quantify and qualify what's good and what's not. But I just grade pack fresh cards. I grade them in high quantity. I'm not doing any of that kind of crazy stuff. I'm just grading junk slabs in PSA and CGC 10 and dumping them onto the market for too much money. Let's see. I think we're here's another one. Are there any newer artists that you guys can see and immediately know who it is? Most obvious example being Ido in his yarn crochet style. Can people at your level even see cheap cards? If it's not $1,000 in a PSA 10, I just see a blank. I just see it looks like an error. Insert filler card. My brain doesn't even process the artwork. I'll say too before we all answer this, like I think that's our last question in the backlog. So if anyone else has any other questions, put them in chat. We're probably going to hang out for up to another 45 minutes to an hour. So let us know what you want to talk about. One thing we should talk about too is like the print run numbers that came out the other day. But yeah, I'm not a big artist guy. Years ago, there used to be the claymation dude or whatever. There used to be and I don't know who that was. But there's a lot of cards back in the WotC era that would make the cards out of like clay or whatever, the artwork out of that. Yeah, the yarn crochet. I know what you're talking about. I can picture some of the cards, but I never remember the names, and I'm terrible with that. Nick and I are pretty on the same page with that.
I'm right there with you. Thrifty's really good with the artists, and she likes that stuff. I don't have any interest, and I honestly could care less too. It just does not excite me whatsoever. But I'll be back in just a second.
Okay. What do you think, Reed?
I would tack on the exact same. I don't necessarily pay attention to the artist. I have the artwork I like. I still don't look at who the artist is. Just kind of focus on the cards that I enjoy.
Yep. That's where I've always been at. I know it's kind of blasphemy to a lot of people. And Julia mentioned that the clay artist is Yuka Mori. I've definitely heard that name before. I've probably been told that multiple times. By the time I'm live tonight with Krabby's cards, I will forget that was Yuka Mori that makes those cards, I'm sure. I will mix that up with somebody else. But yeah, I like that people engage with it in different ways. I'm not out here yucking yums. I love that people collect all the Aritas. They collect all the Nishidas. They collect all the different things. But it's not really for me. It never was. I was always like a set collector. I was always trying to collect a PSA 9 of every set card, every chase card from all the different eras. Never went down the artist rabbit holes.
Okay.
But yeah, with that, the queue is open. If anyone has any questions, feel free to pop them in there. Did you see the other day? I think it was yesterday I think it was yesterday morning or maybe the night prior. Maybe it was Tuesday night. We got the information that we've been getting every year for the past several years. I'll pull it up on PokeBeach. They printed last year. They printed approximately 10 billion cards. I think they round to the nearest tenth of a billion, so it's 9.95 to 10.05 billion cards. What are your thoughts on that? Is it more or less than you would have guessed? Is that bullish or bearish for my Pokestonks, for my palette investments? And any overconfident overreactions you want to share to that news? Either you or Nick.
I think that's wild. That's a ton of cards, but I believe that the year prior they printed more, correct?
Slightly more, yeah. The prior 2 years, so It was 10 billion this past fiscal year. The year prior was 10.2, and then the year before that was 11.9.
So I mean, in theory, it's a wild number, 10 billion cards, but obviously it's not enough. Where prices just continue to spike up. So what is it really going to take to kind of quench demand? 30 billion? I don't know.
Yeah, I think they have to at least double what they're printing now to have any chance of meeting demand. Unless they keep doing these like smaller, duddier type sets. But yeah, I'm not surprised by the 10 billion. Just because like the time frame we're talking is the beginning of Scarlet and Violet, and the beginning of Scarlet and Violet, people hated Scarlet and Violet when that first started. So I think it makes sense. But yeah, obviously now they need a lot more than what they're actually printing.
Yeah, I would have expected, and I think I made it in my annual January prediction video. I think for last year I predicted between 12 and 15 billion, and I was obviously wrong to the high side. I think I predicted that again. I think I predicted 12 to 16 billion or somewhere in there. It's surprising to me how close they were, how they basically were at max capacity 3 years ago. And some amount of that is because not just Pokemon is booming, One Piece is booming, and Lorcana is booming apparently, and Magic and everything is booming, and there's only like a finite amount of these various printers, and it again, I think printing Pokemon cards is significantly more complex than grading Pokemon cards. I think PSA can scale significantly easier. Again, printing Pokemon cards isn't rocket science. It kind of shocks me that they've been this unable to scale. But looking back earlier, so in 2020 they printed 1.6 billion after having done 1.6, 1.5, 2.1. It's kind of interesting because they boomed in 2020, 2021, and they 5x the print run, but it took them a couple of years to do it. I don't think this 1.3 million square feet add-on that they announced in December, I don't think they're going to be able to 5x again. I don't think they'll be printing 50 billion cards in 2 or 3 years, but I'd be pretty shocked if they weren't printing 20 billion. If the market stays like this, I'd be pretty shocked if they weren't printing 20 billion. And I generally think, I think the fact that they, in my opinion, fairly likely will be printing 20 billion cards a year in the coming couple of years, I think that's generally bullish for the hobby. But you need to be careful. You need to contextualize what that means. I think it's more bullish for like the Sword and Shield and Scarlet Violet era because, hey, they were printed less than these upcoming future generations will likely be. But I also think it's kind of bearish for buying less than a year-old box for $1,000. I think it's bearish for buying a less than a year-old ETB for potentially hundreds of dollars. We're not quite there yet, but Dustin Rivals, it turns 1 in 2 days, Saturday, and it's like almost a $700 booster box. Maybe that's not too much too soon, but the logical endpoint of this is that it's guaranteed, so buy. It's guaranteed, so buy. It only goes up. At some point, a combination of the gains being pulled too far forward and the print run doing something, we're going to have a multi-year period where things are just flat because gains got pulled too far forward for too long. Years ago, it happened with Vivid Voltage. I don't know what set it will be. I would have thought it would have been a set that we've already had now. And maybe it will be, too. There's still time for that to be the case. But I truly think Pokemon investors that are just YOLOing at these full market prices, 3 months, 6 months out, hundreds of dollars for a booster box, I think at some point they're going to have a bad time. They're going to have multi-years of just entirely flat returns while a lot of things around them are going up.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
But
it's gotta get to a point where it's just not a guarantee profit within 6 months. this can't keep going on forever.
Yeah, because the logical next step is like, oh well, hey, Evolving Skies was 2,500 after, and Evolving Skies is a good thing to point to it. Like with all the things in the past year that have doubled and tripled and 5x'd, and Evolving Skies over the past 6-9 months is pretty flat. Like if you had your money in that, because so much of the gains were pulled forward. Well, look at Team Up and look at Phantom Forces. And do I think Evolving Skies someday will be 10 grand? Probably. But like a lot of people 6 months ago would have guaranteed that's going to be a $5,000 booster box by this time, and it's going to be a 10. Like it's pretty flat over that time. So that's something you just have to be careful of. The next logical step, if this is guaranteed to be this, the boxes should be double what they are today if they're guaranteed. But yeah, I've had that rant so many times. The people who get it agree and understand, and the people who don't, they again, 5 years ago they were buying Vivid Voltage for $300 because it was guaranteed to only go up. But yeah, definitely a little bit shocking to see that it was only 10 billion cards again. And to say those words, only more than one card for every human on planet Earth. That's insane. 10 billion cards in a year. And that is one interesting data point that they shared. So they've printed 85 billion cards total, and they've printed over 40 billion of those 80 billion in the past 4 years. So in the past 4 years, half of all Pokemon cards ever created were printed. And Chimera Q wants to know, with the pop numbers basically saying half of all cards printed have been from End of Sword and Shield onward, how does that make Sun and Moon and XY cards look for filling up? Me personally, I'm not buying many single slabs or sealed from XY, Sun and Moon or prior eras. But yeah, I mean, they were printed in an era where they were only printing 1 to 3 billion cards a year. And today we're printing 10 billion cards a year. And in a couple of years, we're likely going to be printing 20 plus billion cards a year. So relatively speaking, they're going to be substantially more scarce 5, 10, 20 years from now because they're just printed a lot less. Kind of like the EX era is today to some extent. The X and Y era could potentially be in 10 or 20 years, right? It's a pretty logical thing. But is too much of that already priced in? People allocate no percentage chance to this happening. But like Pokemon could peak. I don't think it will, but Pokemon could peak in the next 5 years. And its popularity over the subsequent 20 years could just go down. And it could get smaller. And we could go back to printing only 5 billion cards a year 5 or 10 years from now. If and when that were to happen, it would be dark to have a lot of sealed product from the era where they were printing 20 billion cards a year in this future world where they're only printing 5 because that's all the demand is. That would be dark days because you know that happened before. That happened before. Not quite 20 billion, but the WotC era. In the WotC era, they were printing billions of cards a year. Everyone was after it, and it wasn't enough, and they couldn't keep up. And I'm sure if PokeTube existed, I wish PokeTube existed for Beanie Babies. I wish PokeTube existed for 1999 Pokemon. Because there are people I'm sure that would have guaranteed this and guaranteed that, and then you know what happened? And I'm not calling for this to happen, but like there's risks. Base set booster boxes, jungle booster boxes, fossil booster boxes were selling for $35. They were barely selling for $35 5 years after the initial boom. That is what happens when the demand is here and the print is here, and then the demand goes down to here. I'm not calling for it to happen, but like there's some % chance that it could happen. What would cause it? Oh, I love Pokemon. I'm here for forever. I've been here 3 weeks, and I know that I'm going to be in Pokemon forever. Okay, that's what people say, but like a lot of people come and go, and yeah, they consumer demand is fickle. Anything to add on those rants? Or is it only onward and upward, and in 50 years we're going to be printing 100 billion cards a year guaranteed? Am I being too bearish again?
I think it's somewhere in between what you're saying and
Oh, you're such a fence sitter, Nick. Come on.
Oh wow. You know what a fence sitter is? Yeah, I don't know. There's got to be there's got to be some point that's a perfect number to print, but we are definitely not there yet, and we are nowhere close to being there yet.
I think it's kind of one of those we'll just have to wait and see situations till they get the new print facility up and running. Because maybe once they're printing so much that they're just shoving it down people's throats, then there might be a slowdown on the demand. But until then, I mean, $200 booster boxes out the gate that just run up as soon as they hit the floor. Like right now, I don't see it slowing down anytime soon.
No. And then even when they do start printing a lot more, and our distros say, "Hey, do you want to get more boxes?" We're gonna gobble up everything they're willing to give us. And even in like the secondary market, when boxes drop around MSRP, you're gonna have so many more people that maybe they're buying 1 or 2 boxes now. They'll start buying more boxes then. So it's I don't know what's going to slow this down.
Gone are the days of the $79.99 booster box.
Those days are long gone. Long gone are those days.
As I walk through the valley of $79.99 booster boxes, I fear no evil. I don't know if we'll ever walk through that valley again. I didn't see this one at the time that I was ranting on that, but that's hilarious. So I actually, here's an anecdote that I can share. My kids, 5 and 7 years old, are officially on the payroll for my company. I deal in Pokemon cards. They sort product, they open packs, they do whatever. Roth IRA for a child is like a supercharged $529. It beats it in every facet. But I actually had the Social Security Administration. I got a letter in the mail the other day, and the Social Security Administration said, "Hey, you have your daughter on the payroll. Our records say she's 5 years old." And they're basically like, "How is she working? What is she doing?" I had to write out a form. I had to verify her Social Security number. I had to verify her name, her age, her date of birth, all that stuff. And I had to write out her job description. I had to write out the processes that she does. One thing that I missed and one thing that I can add to their workload for next year, they can be my PSA 1 manufacturers. I can, every day when they get home from school, "Kids, here's your batch of 10 cards for the day. You guys have to take them out in the playground, rough them up, slide them on the concrete face down. This is your job for the day." And honestly, if I pay them at a percentage basis, going back to our LGS thing, if I pay my kids instead of $1 a card, if I pay them a percentage, oh man, I give them some gold stars. I might need to up my 5-year-old salary because she might start generating 50 grand a year or something, right? I'm going to clip this and send it to the Social Security Administration if they try to push back on it. They don't comprehend the extent to which we're booming. Her salary is, if anything, is low.
Yeah.
Somehow I had entirely skipped over that segment because I had starred questions after it, but my chat just jumped around and I found that. That's funny though. Wait, does PSA have to receive your cards? Why is this not starring? I'm not lagging. You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
It's showing
up.
Oh, my end wasn't showing that this was coming up, but does PSA have to receive your cards by Tuesday, or do you have to submit by Tuesday? Usually it's submit. Usually you have to have it in the mail. They have to physically receive it 30 days after you enter it into the system. Read the fine print. Maybe they adjust that for this special case, but historically speaking, that's the way that they go. 30 days it has to be received afterwards. So what some people do is over the weekend, they'll enter 10,000 cards and then they'll take 2 weeks to physically get them out into the mail, which is kind of like playing with fire a little bit, but we're booming. So some people will surely. Couple more comments on alteration. Oops. With altering becoming more mainstream, unfortunately, what do you feel is the best method for vendors' business to react if the cards they're purchasing are proven to be altered colored? You definitely need to know what you're looking out for. You definitely need to be wary and careful when you're buying raw cards. I think the best way for coloring, the way that I've always done it, is take a stack of cards. Take a stack of 50 cards and put the card in the middle. if anyone's inked any of the sides or whatever, it usually stands out like a sore thumb just looking at it from the side. But as far as if someone's using Kurt's card care or anything like that theoretically PSA doesn't want to allow, I don't know how to tell if people have used that stuff. I think that's the inherent problem because PSA can't tell either.
Mm-hmm. I think people just need to be careful. People who post about cleaning cards are just idiots. Because there's one person on our Discord who like blatantly posts, oh, I got this crease out of the card and it came back a 10. And it's like, well, cool. I'm never going to buy a graded card off you again. People are so dumb about posting that they're cleaning cards. You just don't post about it or don't do it in the first place. And if you do it, don't post about it because you're going to lose people buying from you.
They'll just consign it and you won't know. Like there's no way.
I hate it. I hate it.
So Nick, if we want to sell to you, but we want to clean the card, don't tell you, then sell you. You're saying that's okay, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
perfect.
Okay.
So Nick just wants, ignorance is bliss. Nick doesn't want to know.
Yes.
So sell them your light packs as unweighed and so on.
No, I don't. There's no way to tell, but I in an ideal world, you would be able to tell, and I wouldn't want to buy from people who are cleaning, altering, whatever their cards.
I don't know any way to tell the wax they put on. I have no idea if you can tell that. But correct me if I'm wrong, but if like somebody inks the back or something, there's obviously some bad ink jobs where it's just two different colors entirely. But if it's like a pretty close color, doesn't a black light kind of like show it up differently?
I think so.
Okay.
But that's not like a routine part of my process. I'm usually just, I think I can mostly tell. Like if I can't tell, PSA probably won't either, and it'll probably go through grading fine. That's part of where I come from. I've never had like a big submission. I remember years ago, James had some big CGC return that came back, and everything was like inked, altered, whatever. They came back in those like green slabs when they did the green slabs back then. I've never really had that over the years. I've not had like a bunch of cards rejected for having been altered or anything. I've bought some where these are noticeably altered. I either got a massive partial refund and sold them as altered, or I got canceled, returned, refunded, whatever. But I've never been like fooled on that as far as I know. And the only time if I was fooled, well, so was the grading company because I've never heard back from them. Walrus tells by taste. Bondo says he's seen a lot of vendors buying black lights. Yeah.
Man.
And then another one on alteration. Static to Signal says DJ's Poke Center had a great video the other day touching on grading comic books versus cards, where it's common and normalized to have a comic pressed before grading, but it's taboo to do much to a TCG card. I talked about this, I think, in last week's live stream on my channel. I don't know the answer for this, and frankly, I don't care that much. But like Collectors owns PSA. PSA grades cards. Collectors also owns PCGS, who grades coins. Collectors also owns PSA comic book grading, whatever that's called now. CGC is owned by whatever the bigger company is. NGC is their coins. CGC is their comics. In coins and comics, you can pay them to clean your card or your comic or your coin professionally. So I don't understand. I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't care that much. But like I think there's some percentage chance in the coming decade that we as a hobby, like 10, 12 years ago, Nick, you probably remember the arguments that used to be had about pack weighing and this and that on E4. Now it's like it's just out there. It's ubiquitous. Like some people don't love that it happens, but it's like it's just known, and you sell packs as light or heavy. And I think it's better that people just know. But I could see in the next 10 years there potentially being like, hey, we have no way of detecting it. We've taken the wrong path in the past where we've outlawed it. It's allowed the cheaters to prosper. Now, because we can't sense it otherwise, we're just gonna kind of legalize it, and we're gonna keep it like, oh well, you're not professional enough to do it. We do it with coins, we do it with comics. So for $50 more a card, we'll professionally clean your card. And I think PSA adding that service in the future, that would not be a shocking thing. Like if and when it happens, all the YouTube thumbnails and all the titles and all the Pokeflipz episodes where we'll talk about it, it wouldn't be shocking. Trading cards, Pokemon trading cards especially, very, very young hobby. It would not be shocking if we went the way of, there's already precedent. Coins and comics, the same companies that own the companies that we utilize, PSA and CGC, they have it. It's ubiquitous. Are you guys like on board with that? Do you think that's a crazy thought? Will it never happen? Are you just like morally, inherently against that forever? Like, as I said, I don't care that much, but I don't like invest heavily in PSA 10s, and it's not gonna like risk crashing my empire, my investment portfolio or anything.
I don't like the idea of it. I've never liked the idea of it, and I don't think I ever will. Obviously, like there's nothing we can do about it, and there's no way to tell whether a card has been cleaned or altered or whatever. But what happens like in the long term? Will there be like a residue on the card in 10, 20 years that pops up? But I don't know. I hope grading companies don't start offering that type of service. I hope that never becomes a thing. But with how popular it's getting, I can almost see that being a thing at some point down the line.
I was gonna say I don't necessarily have any opinion on it. I don't personally care. Maybe there's a slight premium to a card that hasn't been cleaned. Maybe a little designation on the label, just how CGC did like the inked or altered for Z's cards. But I think restoration's pretty common in a lot of like, if you think about like different collectibles, they restore old vintage cars all the time. I don't think that necessarily hugely depreciates the value. And they fix and replace things. They take panels off, put new ones on. So if you're in a sense like replacing or fixing something on a card, is it necessarily any different? I think collectors don't inherently like it, but is there a place it could become something in the future? I think so. That's kind of more regulated.
Yeah, I think everyone, and again, a couple years ago, Nat Turner said it's clear and obvious, and everyone knows, and don't be dumb. And I don't think it's clear and obvious at all. And the thing I hate about the current market is cheaters are prospering because PSA, CGC, BGS are too incompetent to enforce the rules. So it's like the people who follow the rules, which I'm a good boy. I'm not curding up my cards. I don't do any of that stuff. I send my cards in, I get them graded, I auction them, and boom, done over with. But so the people who follow the rules are essentially getting punished because they're having a harder time getting the higher grades, and then the cheaters are prospering in this environment. So I'm very much of the opinion you shouldn't have a rule that you can't enforce. If you have no ability to enforce it, you should not have that rule. By the same things, like I don't think you should have a standard if you can't adhere to that standard and reasonably reliably grade to that standard. So like I have an issue with grading at large because it's all just fundamentally a joke, but this is just another punchline in the broader joke that is professional card grading. So again, like I don't care that much. I'm using grading as a tool to make me more money. I could theoretically mischievously Kurt's card care, do whatever, and it's like I don't think at the end of the day that would ultimately make me more money because I'm just all throughput and all churn and all that stuff. But it's there are some people making a multi six-figure business of literally just buying old certs that are supposedly ugly and bad, and they're just buying old 9s, curding them up, and then making them new cert 10s. The whole old cert no cert, like I kind of love how that's a thing. It's kind of funny, it's kind of ironic how that's all a thing. But it'll be interesting to see if and how the hobby grows up around all those opinions, all those thoughts, because I've never heard a convincing argument as to why it shouldn't really be a thing, because I think it's like if it's allowed in cards, coins, and cars, and art, and comic books, why would it not be allowed in trading cards as well? I don't think there's any like logically consistent argument that you could make that would allow it to be forbidden in a world where it's not forbidden in those other things. Laura says, I think comics are a consumed media where cards' purpose is collectability. It's a trading card game. It's a playing card game. So, like, I think the card's purpose is whatever you want it to be. I think a coin's purpose is whatever you want it to be. Sure, coins are mediums of exchange. But can you argue that an American Silver Eagle is actually made as a medium of exchange? No. Like an American Silver Eagle that has $1 legal tender status, that has a $75 melt value or whatever the hell it is, nobody's buying that to consume it, to spend it, to use it as a medium of exchange. So like it's theoretically legal tender, it's real money, but only collectors are buying it. And then you're allowed to restore PCGS, functionally PSA, and functionally CGC will restore your American Silver Eagles, but they won't restore your Pikachu or your Charizard. I don't think there's any logical consistency in that. And again, I say this from the angle of like, I think it's an interesting debate to like have and talk through and think through and try to be logically consistent. But like, I genuinely don't care. I don't care really at all. No one knows that coin you named.
Hey, I'm not a nobody.
Let me, I love coins. I like the artwork, and I want to get back into coins someday, but we're printing too much money, and we're printing way too much money right now in cardboard. So here's what an American Silver Eagle is. Beautiful coin. 1 ounce of 0.999 fine pure silver.
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay, here we go. 30 Pikachu's coming in the 30th anniversary set. Pokemon hates us.
Wait, how do you know this?
I'm gonna actually, I pulled it up on PokeBeach, so I'll share that too. So every pack, apparently, where'd my share screen go? Here we go. Every pack, I'm seeing this for the first time too. Every pack will have a Pikachu in it.
Wow.
And there's gonna be 30 different Pikachus. So six
That's
cards.
Wild.
6 cards, all foil. So hopefully not
like
weighable. Hopefully not like. But yeah, there's gonna be. Oh man, Crystal Lugia.
That's gonna if there's a Crystal Lugia, that's gonna go wild.
That's gonna be big.
Get ready, Ponga. Oh man, amazing rares are back, baby. I need to go buy out TCG Player. Go buy out eBay. I need to find my couple rows of
Whoa, you're scrolling.
Amazing rares.
Read this. You're scrolling way too quickly.
Oh, I'm not reading. I'm just looking at the pictures, Nick. What are we doing here? 30th Celebrations Premium Deck Set Espeon and Umbreon.
Ooh, a new set rarity featuring Espeon and Umbreon.
Oh, I was gonna say there's no way they're doing the CP6. This is just an actual CP6 pack. Yeah. I didn't know if they were just copying it. I was trying to find a picture of the 30 Pikachus to see how hard we're booming, but one interesting dynamic.
If you read, it said no cards have been revealed yet, but possibly next week.
Nick, we're booming. I don't have time to read. I just got to go on YouTube and hear a PokeTuber tell me what to think. But one thing that will be interesting is like the dynamic of having sets release where a lot of people are going to want to grade a lot of cards, and the cheapest auction will be 80 a card. The dynamic that presents to a new set. And if you're going to be the person like first partners, I didn't grade any in bulk. I didn't grade any first partners in bulk from Series 1. I sent them all at 80 or 120 or whatever the hell it was. And I'm glad in hindsight, like it did very well. And I think some of the people that sent bulk are going to regret having sent bulk. But how many $1, $2 Pikachu cards are you going to risk spending $120 a grade? Like, what a world we live in.
if the Pikachu is wearing a hat or has a
Oh,
T-shirt on,
God.
though, oh boy.
Or if he's
Poor
riding a
Pikachu
Crystal
collector.
Lugia.
30 Pikachus in one set? That's wild. Plus the different languages. Imagine what's his face still in the hobby?
Quador?
Quador, yeah. Does he still collect Pikachus? That's gonna
I
be
don't-
insane for him.
I've not been on E4 in a long time, but yeah, like one set drops and you have 300 new Pikachus. The regular hollows and the reverse hollows and the Korean and Chinese and Japanese and English, and oh man.
I can't wait to hear more about the 30th anniversary. I'm so excited.
This is hilarious. Not that we need to go down the coin avenue, but I'm not a huge fan of like all the variants they've done to the penny and the nickel and all these things over the past decade. Like the sheer amount of variants they've made is just insane. Very much going on in coins right now, what happened with like comic book variants and what could be argued to be happening in sports cards with parallels, and it's insane.
It is.
Eric Drinks Water wants to know, do any of you guys have singular come-up stories from early on in your career? Any big flips that you made, like very early days of back into Pokemon?
Oh, I got one. Back in the beginning, whenever I first started, I bought a collection. It looked like it was taken with like a potato phone. Terrible quality photos. There were 4 gold stars. Metagross, Rayquaza, Regice, and I can't remember the 4th. Bought the entire collection at the time for like $700. It was not grading at that point, unfortunately, but I mean, the Rayquaza alone I sold for, I think this was back in like 2019, 2020. It was only like $1,000 card, so sold for a little over $1,000. But then everything on top, I probably 5x my money on that investment. Recently, I bought a Crystal Charizard off TCG Player, LP condition, wow. Got it graded. It came back as an 8.
Man,
holy crap!
I was gonna say real quick. Take a guess. What do you think I paid for it? Like, what do you think I'm in the card all in?
$3,000.
Yeah, about that. Add like $600 for the grading upcharge, but
that's something I would never think to do. Were there pictures on it at least?
No pictures.
See, that was one.
That's the kind of come up story. I love to hear that, because I would never think to like. I want to source a Crystal Charizard. Let me go to TCG Player without photos for that. Like that is such a YOLO. I love it. And then to be rewarded heavily, that's amazing.
I was gonna say I did send the person as soon as I bought it, because I'm like, this is a huge gamble. Like, I'm running a risk. Like, I think I paid like $2,500 plus whatever tax was, and I'm like, let me email the person, see if they can send me photos. So they sent me over photos. I'm like, okay, everything looks good. Am I going to receive a real card in the mail, or is it going to be a fake one? But let's test our luck. Thankfully, it all played out. But yeah, I think last sale on an 8 was like $15K. And this past week, there was a 5 that went for a little over $11,000. So I'm going to assume the 8's probably like, if one win, it would probably be like 20 plus.
That's crazy. That's awesome. We're booming.
Nick, let's hear some of yours.
I was going to say my come up doesn't sound as crazy now. I'm ready if you're not ready yet, Nick.
No. No, mine just sounds terrible now. Let's not talk about it.
I'll do mine. So years ago, this was like 10 years ago, but there was just there used to be people that would sell like base set booster packs just loose on eBay, and this was when weighing was like kind of not like as ubiquitous. Not everyone talked about it. A lot of people out there were scamming, selling unweighed packs that were actually weighed, but they had like 36 quantity. And I'm like, you know what? They probably just had a box that had the wrapper torn on it. I'm gonna YOLO. I'm gonna take a risk of like these being 36 light packs. Well, you know what came in? 36 packs that were the black triangle error, and there were 12 heavy packs. And then you know what happened after I bought the 36, and a week later they came in and I verified and they were all good. And I did somewhere in one of these boxes, in one of these totes, I have empty pack wrappers of the black triangle error packs because I opened all the hollows. Pulled a Charizard, pulled like
wait, you
cards.
opened those packs?
I bought them.
You mad
I
man.
bought them to potentially open the. I wonder if I recorded that anywhere, way pre-YouTube, but like I might have a recording on an old potato phone somewhere of that. I'll have to see if I can find that. But you know what happened? They listed more. So like a week later or whatever, I don't think they listed 36 the second time, but they listed more, and I bought more, and it's like more black triangles came in. More were unweighed, like there were still hollows in them, and I ended up getting 2.5 to 3 boxes worth of black triangle error packs. And yeah,
Jesus,
that was a pretty. No, I didn't actually. I see him in the lobby or whatever, but it says device is not connected. They will need to connect their mic cam before you can add them to the stream.
Well,
oh, he's back. He's back.
Sorry. I got up real quick because I wanted to just so it wasn't like all hodgepodge.
Oh, nice.
Man, get that listed.
Yeah,
No.
that's crazy.
No,
that's PC.
oh,
I don't know.
my
I bought it to
God.
flip, and then it came back in 8, and I'm like, I can't sell it now.
That's more
I'm
reason
gonna
to
see one
sell
of
it
these
now. And years ago, like that was not a 5-figure come up. That was back when the packs. My memory is terrible. That was probably in the era that I was buying the boxes for $7.20 a box ish. I was buying boxes for about 20. I probably bought those packs at like 15 to 18 bucks a piece. And the black label, or the black triangle, not black label, the black triangle packs were probably 30 a piece or 40 a piece or something. Like I probably doubled $1,000 or something. So the reason that I say, and I guess back then though, 1,000 back then is like $1 million today basically. So maybe it is proportional, but that was pretty. And it was funny because like it was a stock photo listing on the eBay. It did not show black triangle packs on the eBay. It just showed regular base set unlimited booster packs. And I bought them multiple times. Black labels kept coming in. They had multiple boxes worth of black triangle errors, and then they kept replenishing, and eventually it just went back to regular base set unlimited packs. And so when that happened, I think like 6 months later, I saw that they still had listings for base set unlimited packs. I think a couple times I bought more, and they never came black triangle again. So either they found out, or they just the well ran dry on what the couple boxes they had.
That's insane. So we went from best story to middle story. Now we'll hear the worst story. I think mine was probably I bought, it was 47,500 pack fresh unlimited base commons and uncommons off of Gary. And that one was completely like haphazardly. I had dealt with him for years at this point, buying like small collections off of him. And one day he just posted on E4. He was wondering if he should go to sell like David Adams or Troll and Toad and just sell all his base stuff at like the current bulk rate. And so I immediately messaged him and said, I want to buy it. And so we ended up working out a deal, and I had just tons of complete sets, and it was all pack fresh stuff from when he'd opened it back in the day. So there was a ton of gradable stuff in there as well. But that was a really, really fun collection. That was probably one of my best early pickups and one of my favorite purchases to date. Just having that much quantity of base set. Obviously there was no hollows; it was all rares, uncommons, and commons. But that was really cool.
Walrus shared his crazy come up he had the other day. Got an onion ring in his order of French fries. Nick, I was fully expecting. So I was gonna say this as a meme. I was fully expecting to say I bought a $40,000 like alt art binder set, whatever, and they put the cards in ETB sleeves. That's what I was waiting for you to say, because like they had ETB sleeves going all the way back to Sun and Moon era. Because funny enough, I recently bought like a pretty high end, like low multi 5 figures, 20-25 grand, and most of the cards were in like random ETB sleeves. I had my sister go through and pull them all out. And just, I thought of you as I threw them into the garbage can. Yes. But
I just thought he was going to say 47,000 pack fresh sleeves.
But
not even cards.
I'm like that. That's so crazy to me. Not even a near mint, an LP Skyrim Charizard on TCG Player. That is
I think that was like a once in a lifetime play.
That's an all time.
I don't really expect that to happen.
You'll be telling your grandkids about that.
With a lot of feedback.
It was like a fairly low feedback seller. It looked like someone who had a TCG player, but for a while, but hadn't been actively selling.
Okay.
It's like one of those accounts that kind of like goes away, then comes back for a while.
Yep.
And I mean, thankfully they replied, sent me the email, and I was able to verify it. But yeah, it was a huge gamble. I mean, I've had nightmare stories on TCG Player. Nick, you and I were talking about it the other day. I mean, I bought a first edition Shining Gyarados, and I got sent a fake one.
Mm-hmm.
That was a $800 bill I had on my credit card till TCG Player was able to refund me.
Yeah, that becomes a headache at times. But yeah, that's like when you tell your grandkids someday. Back in my day.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. So we showed it a minute ago, but apparently there's going to be 30 Pikachus. There's going to be a Pikachu in every pack. There's going to be 6 foil cards in every pack. Interesting. Definitely interesting. Like a slightly fatter, 50% fatter Celebrations pack. Be interesting to see how that does. I'm probably going to buy a lot of them. Nick, what were we paying when we were stocking up Celebrations? Like at the low, how low did Celebrations packs go?
I don't remember. I remember I bought them I bought all mine when they were $5.50 a pack.
I was gonna say 5 definitely. I bought a lot at 5-ish, 5 something, but like I can't remember what I think it went lower than that at one point.
I can imagine they were lower than that at some point.
Yeah. We're probably gonna wrap up in the next 5 or 10 minutes. So if anyone has any final questions, feel free to share. Alex PokeCR wants to know: is it possible to succeed as a Pokemon vendor without having a beard? Everyone appears on your streams has magnificent facial hair.
I would say Charlie. Charlie's a good example. Who was talking? Someone was talking about that the other night on a stream. I forget who it was.
I feel like
I think it might have been Retro and Kai's new podcast.
Oh, I think it was. That's right.
I started listening to that.
The Price Memory podcast. I'm sure it'll be one of the most consistently inconsistent upload schedules, but we'll see though. I always got to give crap. I always got to give crap to the homies on their lack of consistency, but I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for them to be consistent, but I'm a betting man. If I had to place a bet one way or the other, I'm going to go under 10 episodes. I'm going to go under like 5 episodes of actually posting timely weekly. There's always an easy, especially in a boom, it's easy to find an excuse to skip a week.
Yeah, it is.
Shout out to our friends over at Off Center Podcast. They skip a week. They never have all 4 of them. I think that's why they went with 4. They're like 2 years from today, it'll probably just whittle down to like a 2-person podcast that uploads like once every 3 months. They're like increasing their odds of having some remnant left. Not too many
who's
guys
your money
out
on?
like,
I was gonna say, who's your money on lasting that long?
Off Center or like just those 2 pitted against each other or any of them?
Well, like an Off Center, you said like 2 episodes. I was wondering
who would be the 2? It would probably be, I love John, I love Radar, but he's probably the biggest one that's just like to the next thing, to the next thing. I think it would be like Squeaks. Sorry, Thrifty. I think it would be Squeaks and Mason. But that's mostly a
Really?
guess. Maybe it would be Mason and Thrifty. Like I don't know. It's hard to say.
No, I think it would be Squeaks and Thrifty.
Squeaks and Thrifty. Interesting.
Yeah, that'd be a wild combination right there.
Place your bets. Yeah, that would be. It's fun with all four of them. It's fun with any combination of them. They're all the homies. But I got to give them crap because like there's not too many podcasts out there. We only do every other week. We set the expectation low. We set the frequency low because we knew that we couldn't keep up with weekly. But like Nick and I out here over 5 years, and occasionally we've had to shift our every other week. Like we've gone 3 weeks. Sometimes we've done back-to-back weeks to get on the separate schedule. But we've been out here for over 5 years through all kinds of ups and downs and all arounds. And we're out here going live still.
I like it. I like it.
They do. Yeah, it's called so it's right on Retro's channel, but they called it the Price Memory Podcast. The pod has fallen off, did one giveaway and fell off after that.
That was a long time ago, those giveaways.
That was a very long time ago. Yeah. Take a nap, holler. Do you think low pop Japanese holos from a set like Town and No Map or Winds from the Seas, unlimited variants, have any sort of insulation in a downturn? I think prior downturns have shown us that like most of the stuff will go down together. I think and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong here or push back if you disagree. I think most of the things that fell the least tended towards sealed, but as I say that, it's like Vivid dropped 60%. A lot of sealed went, but the things that went down the worst, 80, 90+%, were generally slabs. A lot of singles too. You had PSA 10 first edition Pikachus and Eevees that went from 1,000 to under 100. You had base unlimited Charizards that went from 7,000-8,000 to under 1,000. And as crazy it is to say, like most of the really good stuff too fell 50+% as well. Maybe it was slightly insulated, but like if you mean that the broader market will drop 30-50+% and these things will be like flat, generally speaking, that's not much of a thing, at least in my opinion. Like it all kind of will get bloodied to a pretty decent extent. And if and when that happens, and what I did last time around is like when everything drops 70% and even the good stuff is dropping 50-60%, that's when I stocked up on a lot of the good stuff. And it served me quite well last time around. And if and when it happens again, I'll do it again. But maybe it won't though. Maybe too many people will be trying to look for that, so it won't happen the same way.
I agree with you. I don't think a crash will be like anything like it was in 2020, where I don't know. I don't think we're going to see stuff falling 50, 60, 70%. I think it'll, oh geez, what happened there? I don't think it'll be like that when something inevitably happens this time. But yeah, I think it will be like across the board type of thing. But yeah, it'll be interesting.
I agree. Definitely, I don't think it would fall as far, but I think they specified like the unlimited variants just because they're lower pops and almost more technically rare. But I think that those will just kind of follow suit with the first edition variants. If one goes down, the other one's going to trail behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And Nick, you kind of surprised me, and I found some point of contention. You said you don't think like in the coming years you don't think there'll be a period where like graded cards fall 50+%.
I don't think so. No.
I think it's inevitable. I think right now we're in this period of euphoria and irrational exuberance, whatever you want to call it. Right now, the instant rips, the vaults are buying. At some point, I don't know when, like the way that humanity is just wired, everything is guaranteed. Everything only goes up. Buy it at any price, and it's just guaranteed to go higher. We get so far ahead of our skis, like it's just naturally going to happen. I don't know when. I'm not saying we're going to fall 50% from today's prices, but just naturally, the way people are, if these crazy PSA 10 prices hold of these current cards, $3,500 Gray Felt Hat Pikachu and $5,000 Gengar, whatever the cards are. I don't even know exactly what they all are right now. But if that holds, the next better set in a 6 months or 12 months or 24 months, those ones will be $8,000 and $10,000 and $12,000 because they only go up. And at some point, we'll get too far out in the lunacy, and then it will just have to take that 50% haircut to resemble some amount of sanity. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just like a lot calmer and cooler. But I mean, if we continue on this trend we're on, I think in the next 2 years we will have, like right now we have almost a $700 box within the first year. I think we will have a $2,000 booster box within 12 months of release. If this lunacy continues, that is the inevitable path that we're on. And I think we will have $500 ETBs at release of a main regular set. If this lunacy continues,
you're gonna have Pokemon open up a new print facility, so we're gonna have more product. I do think pricing will come down at some point, but I don't think it's gonna be anything like the crash of 2020, because of how many more people are in the hobby, how many more businesses have gotten in, how much more money's in the hobby. Once pricing does start falling, people are just going to jump on board and start buying. There's so many people right now that aren't buying and they're waiting for stuff to fall.
But you know what happens when people are waiting for a discount, waiting for a bottom, something will fall 30%, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna wait a little bit longer for the bottom. Like people say they will do that. I'll buy them all if they go to this price, and then it goes to this price, and they don't buy
time, though. I think it's going to be different this time. I don't know. I'm not convinced.
I'm not guaranteeing. I never will. I never do. But like I think a lot of people are getting a little bit too crazy, and I see it happening in the next. But we might 5x again before that 50% drop happens. These might be the lowest prices again that we ever see for any of today's current items. A gray felt hat might run to $10,000 and then fall to $5,000. Drop 50%, and it's still high. It's still a lot higher than today if it does that. But I think 3,500 is lunacy. I thought 2,000 was lunacy. I thought 1,000 was lunacy. I thought 500 was kind of crazy, and we're here at 3,500. So clearly, I'm too bearish on everything. So I'm probably wrong.
I think that's what it is. You're a big old bear.
And on that note, I think we're gonna end there. Just wanna thank everyone for being here in chat as always. Want to thank you, Reed, for hopping on. It was nice to meet you in person, kind of digitally. Anything you want to shout out aside from? I mean, don't mention the Destined Rivals packs that I'm buying from you, but seriously, like I say that jokingly because like genuinely, like, I'm paying $850 a pack on thousands of packs of Destined Rivals from Reed in the coming weeks potentially. If anyone's paying more, like seriously, I'm memeing. Like, hit them up, take them away from me. I'll find them elsewhere. Like, sell to the highest bidder always. I business is business. I wouldn't be upset, but yeah, he's got packs. Hit him up on Instagram. Link down below if you want to buy any packs from him. Breaking down a lot of products and getting those good, honest, loose packs. But yeah, anything else you want to shout out before we go?
I mean, the only thing I'd shout out, I'd say check out my eBay, Legends_Lugia. Same as what my IG is. I like trying to provide anything for everybody, from sealed to I sell most sealed. I honestly keep, but like I sell sealed, raw singles, anywhere from damaged to near mint copies. I don't discriminate against a crease in a card, and then a bunch of slabs. But no, I mean, I just want to also just thank both of you. I followed you guys for years. Nick moved over here to Chicago, so it was a great opportunity to meet him. And then Dan, we've also obviously done pack deals before, all those Evolving Skies.
Yeah, that was a lot of Evolving Skies.
But no, I don't know. This hobby has been eye-opening, and the doors and avenues that have appeared from it have been great. So I appreciate you guys inviting me on here and kind of just letting me share what I have to share with everybody else.
Nick, do you have anything to pump for the weekend?
No, I don't have anything going on this weekend. But thank you for coming on. I do appreciate it. It was always good talking with you, and Dan, you as well. But no, I'll be live. Me and Thrifty will be live this weekend. Hopefully, Thrifty. She's not feeling too good right now, but so I'll be filling in for Thrifty tonight. If any of you guys want to hop on over to eBay.
Get well soon,
I think this will be a rare me versus Spat duel on eBay Live. I never stream when Spat's streaming.
You're gonna get wrecked. Go Spat. Spat's gonna be above Old School Pokemon in that.
I think we're probably just gonna do pack ripping, so I probably will get wrecked, but that's okay.
See, Nick, Spat, if you're out there listening, Nick's just giving you an excuse as to why you're gonna be ahead. He's purposely doing the pack rip so his ego doesn't take that blow. But no, this weekend actually, PK is doing. We're doing them like every other week now. PK is doing like 100K. Mega stream on Saturday night starting at 6 p.m. Eastern. 151 UPCs, 151 PC ETBs, Evolving Skies booster boxes, just as we always do. Dollar auctions on everything. We're going big this Saturday night, so definitely tune in if you want to check that out. But yeah, as I said earlier, thanks everyone for being here. Thanks Reed for being here, taking your time to be with us. Hope everyone has a great rest of their week and weekend. As always, we appreciate you watching, and we will catch you all later.